Fuck, my bad. So I'm actually gonna do a new format because I want to start pumping out videos, and it takes a little bit too much effort to actually write the Google Slides, and I don't want to do that because I'm getting very lazy, which is why I haven't posted too. So I'm just going to do it in studio. Alright. So today we're going to be going over events and functions. We're going to be going over the two things, although they are different from each other. Alright, so let's actually start. I'm going to insert a part, okay? And I'm going to insert a script inside the part. Now, if you don't know what script.parent is, you could probably guess what script.parent is. You get the script, right? That's what script is, and then .parent is the parent of the script. So this would be the parent. And then the script would be the children, or the child, but don't worry about that. Actually, yeah, we're just going to go over what an event is first, and then we can do functions. So, script.parent, so basically the part, right, and we're going to do touched. Alright, so if you scroll down, right, you see all these events right here. These are basically events. Child added is, if a child gets added like this into the script, or into the part, it will trigger something, okay, like that. And that's what child added is. Script.parent. And then let's just do touched. And then touched is basically when something touches it, okay? And what we're gonna make is a kill block. So we're gonna connect it to something, and then we're just gonna do function, right? Or you could do so basically this is essentially the same thing as this. Local function, touched function, and then we're gonna name it print hi, and then print hi. So what is gonna happen is we're going to do script.parent.touched connect, and we're gonna also do this touch function. So basically, this is the same. This right here is the same shit as this. What this is doing though is this is creating a function on the spot almost. Well, basically that. And generally, we scripters, we like to use this instead of this, although there's not really much of a difference. So I'm gonna just stick to that. Okay. So script.parent.touch connect function, and then print hi. So when I play the game, right, and I step on the part, it's gonna print hi. Or it already printed hi because it was initially touching the base plate, but then if I touch it again, it's gonna continue printing hi. See this number going up? So that's that, right? So that's what functions are, or that's what an event is, and what an event actually is connecting to is a function, right? Now, let me go into depth about what a function is more. So let me do local function is equal to, and let's just do print something. Alright, if I print something and then I put a parameter, let's say thing to print, okay, and I print the thing print, right? Well, if I ran the game, literally nothing would happen, okay? That's because this function is waiting to be activated. A function is something that just waits to be activated, and if nothing's activating it, then it's never gonna run, right? So we're actually going to activate it, right? So we're gonna call the function print something, right? And then if we ran this, right, it would print nil because we didn't give it anything to print, okay? You see this parameter right here? It printed nil because this parameter is basically like a local, right? But if we didn't set the local to anything, then it won't print anything. But let's say we put 10, okay? This 10 is basically going to translate to this. Alright, so the thing to print is basically going to be 10, right? The first item in the parameters, and this is by order. So if I did second thing, right, and then I told the script to print second thing, it wouldn't print anything. The second thing, let's say I put 20, right, it would print 10 and then 20, because 10 would be the first thing, right, and then it would print the first thing, and then 20 would be the second thing, and then it would print the second thing. So if we ran it, it would print 10 and 20. Perfect, right? As pre-described. So that's what a function does. So you have basically just know that you have to activate it, and then we can do any data type you want as long as you can print it. So we could do that, and it would print the second thing. Right. 10 and then alright, so now that we have that done, let's see. So now that we covered functions and events, let's actually script a door, alright? So this is actually gonna be some real shit now. So what we need first is we need the click detector, okay? Because click detector basically allows you to click on the part, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually add an event to the click detector called mouse click. And if we look in the API, click detector, Roblox, right? We have allows you to click on parts basically. And if we scroll down, right, we have the functions, don't worry about that. If we scroll down to the events, as you can see in the API, we have mouse click, and then it returns the player who clicked. Okay, well, I'll cover this soon, but for now, don't worry about it. So mouse click and then right mouse click, right? You have all these events in the API. So what we're gonna actually do is we're gonna get the click detector. So we're gonna do script, right, dot parent, which is the part, and then we're gonna go back down to click detector, and then we're gonna do mouse click. So you see how it autofills, right? This lightning sign. We're gonna connect to a function. Okay, and that's basically, so we just set up a function essentially, and then we can do. Let's just make it so that when we click on that script, dot parent, which is the part, dot transparency, oops, is equal to 1. Basically, when transparency is set to 1, as you can see, right, it becomes invisible. So that's what we're gonna do. So now if we play the game and we click on it, it's gonna become invisible as per described. So let's do that right now. Boom, right? But it doesn't switch back and forth, okay? We need to manually script it so it goes back and forth. So how do we do that? Well, basically this is where we use if statements, because the script won't know whether the door is closed or not. So you need to actually feed it that information and then make the script dictate based on the information. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically compare two data types, right? As you know from the variables or the if statements. So script.parent.transparency, and then, right, you can guess transparency is a number value data type, okay? So basically, right, transparency is currently equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, then, and if it's equal to 0, what does that mean, right? That basically means that the door is open, right? Because it's visible. So now we can do else, right? So basically, the reason why we don't do an else if is because it's only on 2 modes, alright? It's either on or off. So basically, logic would basically dictate that if the door is not open, right? If the door is closed, which means that the transparency is equal to 0, as it is right now, then we would set the transparency to 1. Okay, and since we set the transparency to 1, next time we click it, the second time we click it, this is going to be false, right? Because we set it to 1 last time, which means it will trigger this. And what this is going to trigger is script.parent.transparency, we're going to set it back to 0, right? And then basically that's that, and if we run it, we have basically a working door. It's just you can't walk through it, which is going to be a problem, which we will fix. But right now, the basic functionality of it works, okay? So now that we have that done, let's actually add can_collide. So script.parent.can_collide, and if you look in can_collide, right, let me scroll down, can_collide right here, it's a boolean, right? It's a check mark, uncheck mark. So we're going to do can_collide is equal to false, alright, and we're just going to copy this and place it right here. Boom. Boom, bada boom, right? Understand? Now, now if we click on it, right, let's actually make this door more of a door, because this is not a door right now. This is whatever the fuck this is. So let's make the color, let's make it brown, and then let's make it wood. Alright, boom, we have a door. Now we play it, and then we can walk through it. Boom. Boom. Right, perfect. So this is cool and all, right? But let's actually then convert this into a function, a local function. I like doing this a lot because I generally think it's good practice, although I forgot why. So let's just do local function is equal to open close, right? And then we can just set this. And what we can do is we do open close, and boom, just like that. Or if you want it to be fancy, you could do this, right? Actually, I don't even know that fucking works, so because I never did that. Yeah, it doesn't work. Hold up, give me 1 second. You have to do open close, right? And then it should work. My bad. And I was looking at DMs. Boom, it works, right? And now the amazing part is, now that we read it in, okay, let's say we have a, let's just say, fuck it, let's just put another part in it. Alright, so let's just spawn another part, and let's put a click detector into that part. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we use script.parent.part .click detector. So we're getting script.parent.part .click detector, okay? We're gonna have another function called mouse click, and then we could basically do open close. Now this is not gonna work because basically this is almost gonna act like a button, since this local function relies on script.parent, right? So if I played it, it just wouldn't work, right? It would actually just open and close this door, right? I don't know if you consider that cool or not, but it basically means it doesn't work. So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to add in a parameter inside this function. All right, we're gonna name it instance, or let's just name it actually door. And then we're gonna do door.transparency. We're gonna basically replace script.parent with door, right? And you might be thinking, well, what does door mean? Well, I will tell you what door means. Door will basically be the thing that we send. Door will basically be the first parameter that we send over. So script.parent, right? And then script.parent.part. Okay, so what this is basically, right? Door is basically now the equivalent of script.parent. Make sense? Or if we fired this function, it would be the equivalent of script.parent.part, right? That's what door is, because we set it as the first parameter. And what is door? Door is basically an instance value, right? Door is basically equal to an instance. Technically, right, we can send doors basically anything we wanted to, right? If we send doors a string value, the function would still accept doors as a string value. It's just that the script would break because you can't do a string value dot. Oops. You can only do an instance dot transparency or whatever. So now if we play it, right? We're actually going to be able to, right? Each individual one will open and close on our demand. Where the fuck did it go? Oh. The reason why it broke is because the moment it became uncan collide, it fell through the map, since it's not anchored. Watch. Right, that's basically what happens. We're just gonna anchor it. Okay, so now you know it works. Right, that's basically that, right? That's what a function is. Now, this is all I'm gonna teach you. Actually, let me teach you one more thing, okay? This is functions like, or events like mouse click. They sometimes have default return parameters or default return. So the default return is, let's say I name this into poop, okay? You're probably wondering, what the fuck? Why would you name it to poop? Just watch, okay? The reason I named it to poop is because I want to show you that it doesn't matter what the naming is. So if I press play, right, and I press on the first door, it would print poop. Or it wouldn't print poop, it would print my name, right? Now, the reason is, look in the API, alright? Mouse click, player who clicked. You understand that? It returns as the first parameter of the event, the player who clicked. So we could literally name this, now if we want to name it something more realistic, like player, right? It would still print my name, okay? Because as the first parameter, that's what it returns. Now, it doesn't have, mouse click doesn't have any other parameters, right? It doesn't have a second one. Alright, so if I tried to print a second parameter, it wouldn't print shit, okay? because mouse click just doesn't have a second parameter. It only has one. Now some situations they have a second parameter, like ancestry changed, right? Ancestry changed. You have the child and then you have the parent. Ancestry change is basically when you move the parts position in the workspace, which you shouldn't worry about. But you see how it prints now, right? Boom, perfect. Okay. So that's that, right? Now, now that's basically that. So I hope you have fun, and I hope you learned something from it. Tell me in the comments if you like this style or the other style more, because I feel like this style is more interactive, and I feel like if you see a real example, you learn more instead of me just reading off of a Google slide. Okay, and I'm also freehanding this, so sorry if it's a little bit disorganized because it's my first time freehanding something completely from scratch. I didn't write any notes, nothing. Okay, so that's that. Hope you have fun, and I'll see you in the workforce of the Harris one day. Hopefully.